Hopefully you're on. Hi guys, it's day 17, and I'm making a video to tell you guys a little bit about me, Ruth. Um, First we'll start off with the name, Angelic Baby Ruth. Angelic comes from like 6 years ago. I used to play a online game with superheroes, and my character's name was Angelic Blaze. Angelic Blaze got her name from a car that I used to own, which was a 1984 Pontiac Firebird limited edition Grand Am. And it was a T-top. It was a beautiful car. It was my first car. I used to call that car Angelic Blaze. I just loved that car. She was a beautiful car. It was fire engine red, and I had everything. I had everything flames on it, and it was flame seats, flame cover, everything flames. And anyway, another thing about me, I have been a YouTube member since July of 2009, and my first subscription that I sent out for my first channel that I subscribed to was the Shaytars, and then I discovered that Sexy Phil from the Phil DeFranco show, and then I did Lisa Levy. Her first song that she had recorded on there was Angel, and then Alpha Cat from Hi Hector. So I watched those videos, and I really liked them, and I subscribed to them. So those are the first four people I subscribed to. And my first friend's request from YouTube was from a tattoo school, and I had sent them a subscription. I had subscribed to them, and then they sent me a friend's request. So it was pretty cool. And then the first person to accept my friend's request was Dulce Candy 87. She was the first person to ever accept a friend's request from me, and I was super excited about that because she has so many viewers, and sorry, car going by. And then my first subscriber was actually like a friend of mine from church that I used to go to a long time ago, and then it's grown from there a little bit, which I'm really excited about. And another thing about me, which you may not know, well, obviously you don't know, is that I am allergic to the sun. I know you guys always see me in tank tops or short sleeve shirts, but I really am. I'm allergic to the sun. If I stay out in the sun too long, I get these blisters, and I have to always wear, SPF 100 or higher, with the high UVA, UVB protection, because if I don't, I get these really bad blisters, like water blisters, and if you touch my skin, you can feel the heat in my skin, and anyway, you can feel the heat in my skin, and it really hurts. It feels like 1,000 needles poking me at the same time wherever I have these blisters. Another thing I want to tell you guys is I'm from the great state of Texas, and I was born there. I was born in Dallas, Texas, and was raised in a small town for the first 7 years of my life, 8 years of my life, in a small town called Ennis. So shout out to everybody out in Ennis if you guys see this video. And I lived there, like I said, for 7 years. Then we moved from Ennis, Texas to Sparks, Nevada. Lived there for a little under a year, and then moved to Sacramento, California. And so that means I've lived in 3 states. I've lived in a lot of places in Sacramento, moved around a whole lot growing up. You would have thought I was a military brat, but I wasn't. And then finally lived and moved out on my own when I was 19 years old. And I was very fortunate to grow up with both my parents in a home. My parents were married for 21 years before they got divorced, and their divorce actually inspired me. This is another thing you're going to learn about me, to write a poem. I am a writer. I've been writing for many, many years. I've been published twice. Um, Once I was published when I was in the fifth grade. I had wrote a poem about graffiti in the school. And in Sacramento at the time, sorry, in Sacramento at the time they had a section for neighborhood news, and they came and did an interview on me. And my teacher, Miss Lacerna, had asked my parents if she could submit this to the newspaper because she thought it was a really good poem. I wish I had this poem. I really do, guys, because it was the first thing that had ever been published. I don't even know if my mom has it. Pretty sure she does. So she did. So I was published there, and then the second poem, which I was talking about before, where I was published, was a poem about my parents' divorce. I was 18 when they started going through the divorce, and it affected me a lot, tremendously. I had submitted this poem to a poetry contest, and I didn't win the contest, but however, they did want to submit my poem into a book of poem, a book about nothing but a whole bunch of poems, different artists coming together to get a whole book of poems and her different writers. So I went ahead and said, yeah, go ahead, put my poem in the book. I sent the paperwork back, and it was in there. And unfortunately, I was never able to get this book that I was published in. My mom wanted to get it for me, but it had already passed by then. So that's the second time I had been published. To me, writing is just a really, really, really great outlet to let your emotions out instead of keeping them in. That's how I let myself try to be as happy as I can be. I mean, given living situations and stuff like that I've been going through throughout my whole life. Another thing you might find interesting to know is that I speak Spanish and English fluently. I do mess up on my Spanish. I don't speak it like 100% great. Spanish is not my first language. English is. My dad is Native American. I don't know if you can tell from the forehead and the nose. My dad is Apache and Spaniard, and my mother is has Italian blood in her, some Spanish blood in her, and I think something else. So I'm a little bit of a Heinz 57, and I used to practice Italian by myself. I was teaching myself Italian, reading books, looking at stuff online and stuff like that, but still don't know it fluently. I don't know any of my native tongue, which really sucks because my dad did teach me how to say I love you when I was younger, but totally forgot that. I've never been under 200 pounds. I mean, other than being like a little kid, but my whole adult life, should I say, I've never been under 200 pounds that I could ever remember. I've always been a plus size person. I've always been overweight. I told you guys before, one time I was so overweight, my mom took me to a clinic to get B12 injections, which I had to get it in the rump every other time I used to get an injection, and it helped boost my metabolism, hence why I take B12 now. Let's see here. I have had 2 major surgeries in my life. One surgery is here. I showed you guys the scar before. I had a hemangioma tumor, which is a tumor that is not cancerous. It's just a collection of blood that's there, and it was hurting me, and it always affected my handwriting. So I don't have pretty handwriting at all. Let's see. Like I said, I write. I've written songs. Never anything has been published. I sing. I've been singing since I was a little kid. My grandmother was a pastor. She passed away a couple of years ago, and I used to sing in her church when I was young. And went to singing in the choir when I was in high school, and singing in the church throughout my whole adult and teenage life. I used to sing a lot. And then I've been married for 2 years. Me and my husband got married on May 24th of 2009, which was bittersweet because 4 days later my grandmother passed away, which was nice because it had always been a dream of mine for my grandmother to be a part of my wedding, rather her marrying me because she was a pastor, or her being a part of my wedding, or just being there, and she was actually there. And so it was really great that me and my husband went ahead and decided to move our wedding date to 2 years earlier than what we had expected to get married. Currently in California, the dogs are barking, so if you can't hear me, sorry. Currently live in California, Stockton to be exact. I'm going to share with you one of the poems that I wrote. I'm going to attach a video to this. If not today, definitely tomorrow. And I think that's about it. So hopefully this has been informational to you guys about me, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, leave me some comments, and give me a thumbs up.